Hi guys, today will contain the books across the meadows. Okay, now we'll read one story about the season. It's called The Seasons. What does it mean when the bluebird comes and builds its nest, singing sweet and clear? When violets peep through the blade of grass. These are the signs that spring is here. What does it mean when the berries are ripe? When butterflies fly and honeybees hum? When the castles stand under the shaded trees? These are the signs that summer has won. What does it mean when the cricket chirp? Away the south the robins chirp. When the apples are falling and leaves grow round? These are the signs that autumn is here. What does it mean when the day is short, the leaves are gone and brooks are dumb? When fields are white and drifts of snow? These are the signs that winter has come. The old stars set and the new ones rise. The skies that are stormy grow bright and clear, and so God beautiful, wonderful signs go around and around through changing year. Now I read you another stories. No, not stories, but a verse. John 6:35. And Jesus said unto them, I am the bread of life. He hath come me shall never hunger, and he believeth on me shall never thirst. Okay, now we'll read the words for one. Practice. 我 inborn WAR 我 warrior word reward wardrobe missionary SION Run television SION run passion expression mission vision decision discussion emperor URE cur measure treasures scarecrow uncountry you couple nervous young jealous touch trouble nervous double and carry ARR air carrot Mary Paris square nation TION action, caution, addition, motion, creation, station, attraction, emotion. Now I read you a poem. It's called Swing. How do you like to go up in a swing up in the air so blue? Oh, I do nothing as splendid things every child can do. Up in the air and over the wall till I see so wide, river and street and cattle and all over the countryside, till I look down on the garden green, down on the roof so brown. Up in the air I go flying again, up in the air and down. Okay, now I read you another poem. It is very short. It's called Time to Rise. A birdie with a yellow bill hopped upon the windowsill, cocked his shining eyes and said, Answer your shame, you sleepy head. Okay, now I read you another story. It's called The Land of Competition. Pain. When I was sick and lay in bed, I had 2 pillows at my head, and all my toys beside me lay to keep me happy all the day. And sometimes for an hour or so I watch as my leading soldiers go with different uniforms and drills among the black clouds through the hills, and sometimes sent my ships and fleet all up and down among the sea, or bought my trees and house out, and planted city all about. I was the giant, great and still, that sits upon the pillow hill. The pleasant land of competition. Okay, now I'll read you another story. It's called My Shadow. I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me, and what can be with him, and more that I can see. He is very, very like me from the heels up to the head, and I see him jumps before me when I jump into my bed. The funny things about him is the way he likes to grow. Not at all like Portia's children, which is always very slow, for he sometimes shoot up taller like an Indian rubber band, and he sometimes gets so little that there's none of him at all. He hasn't got a notion of how children ought to play, and can only make a fool of me in every sort of way. He can stay so close beside me, he can where you can see. I think shame to stick to nose, and the shadow stick to me. One morning, very early before the sun was up, I rose and found the shiny dew on every buttercup. But my lazy little shadow, like an arrow sleepyhead, had stayed at home behind me and was fast asleep in bed. Okay, now I read you another story. It's called Block City. What are you able to build with your blocks? Castle and palace, temples and dogs. Rain may keep raining and others grow round, but I can be happy in building a home. Let the sofa be mountains, the carpet be sea. There's ever a sea for me, a jug and a mill and a palace beside, and a harbor as well where my vessel may ride. Quit in the palace with pillar and wall, a sort of a tower on the top of it all, and steps coming down in the orderly way to where my toy vessel lie safe in the bay. This is one is sailing, and that one is small. Heard to the song of sailors on board, and see on the step of my palace the kings coming and down with prison and things. Now I have done with it. Down, let it go. All in a moment the town is laid low, blocks upon block, like and scratch and free. What is there left of my town by the sea? Yet as I saw it, I see it again, the court and the palace, the ships and the men. And as long as I live and where I may be, I will always remember my town by the sea. Okay, now I will wish you another. Another story is called The Cow. The friendly cow, all red and white, I love with all my heart. She gives me cream with all her might to eat without put off. She wanders lowing here and there, and yet she cannot stray. All in the pleasant open air, the pleasant light of day, and blown by all the winds that pass and went with all the showers. She walks among the meadow grass and eats the meadow flowers. Now I'll read you another poem. This is one of my love poems. It's very funny, but also very polite. It's called A Good Boy. Is it polite? Yes, it's very polite. A good boy. I woke before the morning. I was happy all the day. I never said an ugly word, but smiled and kept at playing. And now at last the sun is going down behind the wood, and I am very happy, for I know that I've been good. My bed is waiting cool and fresh, with lime smooth and fair, and I must off to slumberland and not forget my prayer. Then sleep would hold me tightly till I waking at the dawn and hear the robin singing in the lights round the dog. Is it polite? Yes, it's polite. First, he woke up with happy and not said any ugly word. And then when he eat and sleep, he doesn't forget to pray to God. That is very polite. Okay, now I wish you Muddy Mouse. Every day the mouse family went for a walk. When they came to a mud puddle, Father Mouse walked around it. Mother Mouse walked around it. Sister Mouse and Brother Mouse walked around it too. But little Muddy Mouse walked right through it. He liked the mud. His friend, the horse, didn't like mud. The cow didn't like mud. The dog and the cat didn't like mud. But Muddy Mouse liked mud so much that he cried when there wasn't any. One day, Muddy Mouse played on the muddy past the road. He rolled over and over down the road. Muddy Mouse thought it was fun because the road was full of the sticky brown mud, but the mud stuck in his fur. More and more mud stuck to Muddy Mouse until he looked like a brown ball of mud. The tip of his tail stuck out one side of the ball. The tip of his nose stuck on the other side. There was so much mud on Muddy Mouse that he couldn't walk. He couldn't talk. He couldn't talk. He couldn't even cry, and he wanted to cry very much. Just then, the black cat and her two kittens came along. They thought Muddy Mouse was a big brown ball, so they started to play with him. They rolled him back and forth. They rolled him around and around until Muddy Mouse was dizzy. Then the black cat and her two kittens gave Muddy Mouse a push. Away he rolled over the pasture. He didn't stop until he reached the fence. After the black cat and her two kittens had scratched away, Father Mouse and Mother Mouse came out to look for Muddy Mouse. They looked under every stone and behind every bush, but they couldn't never found Muddy Mouse at all. If he had to wiggle the tip of his nose to cover out, then Father and Mother Mouse scrubbed it and scrubbed it at the big brown ball of mud. At least they saw an ear, then a bright little eye, then smooth gray back, and after a long, long time there stood Muddy Mouse of him. He danced and squeaked with happiness because he didn't have a single bit of mud on him. Every day after that, the Mouse family still went for a walk, but then they came to a mud puddle. Father Mouse still walked around it. Mother Mouse walked around it. Sister Mouse and Brother Mouse walked around it too, but Muddy Mouse didn't walk around it. He ran around it. Now I will read you another story, and it's called Bird Nest. What do you think the best place for a bird nest? Some birds build their nest low, and some birds build them high. Some put their nests in trees, barns, and even on the ground. You know when the meadow lark is close by, when you hear a flute-like call. If you walk through a meadow, you might want to be careful. When you walk, the meadow builds its nest on the ground. In grassy field of meadow, that's how he gets his name. The well-hidden nest is cup-shaped and made of loose, dry grass and stings. The barn swallow always gets its name from where it builds its nest. In a barn, it finds a high place in the corner of the barn or a shed. That is make a strong nest out of mud. The firm high nest made a safe home for a young bird. If you see a hole in the tree trunk, it is probably a nest made by a woodpecker. The name of these birds tell you what it does. He worked harder than any bird to build its nest. Woodpeckers tap and dig in the trees with their beaks. When a hole is made, it must be deep enough to keep the eggs safe from the owls. The woodpeckers use their beaks to keep the nest clean. The eagle builds its nest in a tall trees or on the side of a cliff. Few people ever see a nest like this one. The eagle nest is made of stick and grass. It is flat like a plate, and it is so large and heavy that children cannot lift it. God gave each bird its instinct and the proper tools to build a strong, safe nest in just the right place. Each part of the bird creation shows a master design. Okay, this is the end of the video. Bye!